Hoje temos uma programação diferente em Cabo Frio. Isso mesmo, Circuito Geração do Surf 2016. Daqui a pouco você vai poder conferir várias imagens, então não saia daí.
Faça a sua parte, seja fiel um pouco, nada melhor do que crescer um dia após o outro.
Olá pessoal, estou aqui agora com o Marcos Ramos, ele é diretor técnico do Circuito Gerações do Surf 2016. Obrigado, Marcos, por estar aqui com a gente. Então, qual é o objetivo do evento?
Olá a todos aí. O objetivo do evento na verdade, incentivar o surf amador na cidade de Cabo Frio e na região, resgatando principalmente a essência dos grandes campeonatos que sempre aconteceram em Cabo Frio. Cabo Frio que sempre foi conhecido como revelar bons surfistas e ter grandes festivais. Então o objetivo é esse, resgatar essa essência e incentivando o surf amador.
Do que crescer um dia após o outro, valorizando tudo aquilo que se tem.
Bom, gente, agora eu vou entrevistar o Kalani. Ele tem 12 anos e surfa há 8 anos. Eu fiquei bastante impressionada. Kalani, você está nervoso para entrar na água ou está com bastante expectativa?
Estou com bastante expectativa porque já me dou bem aqui já faz tempo em Cabo Frio, é um lugar que eu me sinto à vontade, assim. E é isso, eu quero me dar bem e sair daqui com a vitória.
O Natan também vai entrar na água, ele tem 19 anos. Natan, fala pra gente, é a primeira vez que você vai participar de um circuito?
Não, já participei de outros, teve outros fechados da Top Surf mesmo para treino e outros também estaduais, municipais, mas não é o primeiro não.
Então, hoje o dia amanheceu um pouco fechado, estava chovendo. Fala um pouco sobre a condição do mar, você que entende melhor que eu.
Olha, o dia amanheceu assim chuvoso mesmo, até é bom pra gente, não fica com sol, não cansa, mas o mar não está muito bom, o mar está um pouco fechado, com as ondas fechando um pouco, não está tão favorável, mas estamos com a expectativa aí para ver se a gente acha uma valinha, alguma coisa para a gente poder se divertir.
Então tá, você é da categoria Open, tá com bastante expectativa de ganhar, como é que é isso?
A gente espera, né? A gente tem que criar expectativa para chegar e tentar alguma coisa, mas tô com expectativa grande aí, se Deus quiser vai dar tudo certo.
Vou entrevistar agora Gustavo, mais conhecido como Produto. Gustavo, fiquei sabendo que você tem uma escolinha de surf, explica como que funciona essa escolinha, lembrando que Gustavo também está na organização desse evento.
Então, bom dia, primeiramente quero agradecer pela entrevista, né, pelo Paula que está aqui para entrevistar. Pois é, a gente já tem a escolinha há 8 anos, né, a Top Surf Trainer, eu e o Marcos Ramos. E assim, o nosso objetivo maior é tirar as crianças do tempo ocioso, das drogas, né, ficar largado na rua. Nesse tempo aí a gente também falou muito da preservação do meio ambiente com ele, faz surf trip. Então assim, o trabalho que eu e o Marcos temos feito há 8 anos tem sido assim, um trabalho muito bom. Temos retorno, né, das criançadas assim, que têm gostado, dos pais. E nosso objetivo é esse, né, tirar eles do tempo ocioso e que o esporte possa fazer pela vida deles, né.
Faça a sua parte, seja fiel um pouco, nada melhor do que crescer um dia após o outro.
Gustavo, por que você começou a promover esse tipo de evento?
Então, Cabo Frio ficou muito tempo esquecido no cenário do surf, né, em relação a eventos. E a gente pensou muito sobre a criançada de base, sobre a garotada nova, né? Surfistas antigos a gente já tem muito, então a criançada ficou perdida, sem, né, o que competir, ficou perdida no Cabo Frio. Então assim, a Top Surf veio com a ênfase visando ao trabalho de base, a criançada, e com isso incluindo os mais velhos, né, lógico, não perdendo a essência. Por isso o evento é resgatando as gerações do surf, né, tanto os mais velhos como as crianças. E a Top Surf, a gente começou fazendo surf treinos, eu e o Marco começamos a fazer pequenos eventos, até que a gente fundou o Clube de Surf Cabo Frio para ter uma legalização pela Federação do Estado do Rio de Janeiro. Então, juntou o útil ao agradável, né? Temos o Clube de Surf Cabo Frio junto com a Top Surf Training, que realiza. Hoje eu e o Marco somos juízes federados, né, pela Federação do Estado do Rio. Então, assim, a gente deu esse gás para que dê a continuidade no surf cabo-friense.
met Jonas at the Battle of the Paddle Brazil in 2014. I went out there and I remember seeing this guy out on the water and I was like, what?
I remember in the elite final, it was pretty nasty conditions. It was windy, wavy, and just getting out was a chore. I remember getting out off the start and getting clean of everybody, but eventually I got round to the buoy and got cleaned out by Seth. After that race, I remember seeing Jonas come in and I'm like, wow, that guy paddled in those conditions out through that surf and back. That's something.
Yeah, that's how I met him. I remember calling Anthony and saying, dude, there's this guy, like he's out there and he doesn't have any arms and he's catching waves on his race board, and I think he kind of thought he was maybe just like, oh, maybe he's out there, he's just doing it, and then he saw the pictures and saw him and he's like, oh my goodness, this guy is like for real.
I was amazed and at the same time so very interested to get the story and to get to know him, because you know, so many people that have overcome things like that, you know, they tend to be extraordinary people, and you know, Jonas has basically followed in that line, you know, of Bethany Hamilton, and just able to overcome, but not just in live life, you know, but to like celebrate life and to celebrate all the different things that he loves to do.
You know, when tragedy happens in life and big things happen, you can either go one of two ways. I think you either turn towards God or you turn away from God. And Jonas had every excuse and every reason to, you know, maybe even be angry at God.
Yeah, I always surf in my entire life. I surfed since when I began to surf like 13 years old. I think when we are surfing, we become younger and younger. It's like come back and really become a children again. Like I feel like a kid, you know, there, and it's so magic, and it's not a sport for me. Putting a sign in my church was a voluntary job, and boom, I got this shock, 13,800 volts. It's a lot of things, you know, and well, my arms, my hands was burning in that moment, and I have to cut off. And I look for my longboard and my shortboard and say, well, I'm never gonna surf again. I grew it with my dad. He always was my best friend, always. Say for my dad, I'm going to the beach, I will try to surf again. And he says, yeah, are you nuts, man? You can't do this. And I stay trying, keep trying like 1 year. But when I get in the wave, I catch the wave. So when I drop, you know, when I try to stand up on the board, I fall. And when I got this one, like, I don't know, 1 feet away, 1 feet wave, and I got it, and I tried to don't fall, and I got it, and I got it. And when that wave finished, I looked to the sand and looked to my friends there too, and I said, did you see it? It was like the life come back to me, you know, that all that happened to be in the ocean surfing and get back to my heart, and I said, yeah, I'm back, I'm here. I restart from my entire life, and in that day everything began. Finding the stand-up paddle a way to get back to the ocean and get back to surf, and yeah, I have this idea, made a paddle, adaptation paddle, and I talked to my dad. My dad says to me, I don't think this is gonna happen. I don't think this is gonna work actually. So I try to do, and I do my first paddle, and yeah, it happened.
So there was that magic moment where he won the rapid charge round and, you know, beat 4 other guys in an epic battle to the finish, and, you know, the who's who of stand-up all over the world was there.
There was this one heat where he came down, he was close to the leaders in the group, but they all fell in the first big drop. He landed the drop, made it, got around the buoy clean, was the only one of the bunch that made it and started heading downriver. I mean, everybody was just like, yeah, Jonas! Like, it was like one of those moments, I mean, I get teared up thinking about it now. It was so inspiring to see what he did that day. But ask anybody that was there. If you were there and you're present, you saw something great that day, that's for sure. After the event was over, I went up to, you know, say hi again and asked if I could have a closer look at his paddle, what he was using. And he literally had 2 steel rings attached to the paddle, and that's how he was able to get his arm through it. I certainly knew that there was at that time he was using just a regular handle on the top. So I knew that that needed to be changed. It's something that he could get his arm situated in better to have better control of the blade and to know that he's not going to lose control of the paddle. The way I learned how to make a better paddle for him was I actually, okay, if I'm going to make a paddle for Jonas, I need to paddle like he does. So I literally stuck my arm through the rings and held the paddle and paddled in my paddling flume. I took it out paddling, so the first prototype I made sure that if it's not good enough for me, it's not going to be good enough for him, that's for sure.
2 months, 3 months after, he called me and he sent me a video with the paddle almost ready, and I see, oh man, this is awesome. I can't believe it's ready, and yeah, it was like we start this relationship. I was there on the roof. I don't know, man. It was very, very tough to cross this bridge for another life, but yeah, it was a bridge for a better life. And today, yeah, today I can't imagine a better life what I have today.
Jonas is living God's purpose for his life. He has a new life. What many would think is maybe a disadvantage has become his lampstand.
And, you know, he wanted to be a pro surfer and then went on to do what he was doing with his work in graphic design and then with the church. And all of a sudden you have this traumatic injury that changes your life. Most people it would be for the negative, and for him it was at first, and he found a way to change that into a positive.
He's walking the sermon and he's living it, and he's not afraid to share his faith, and it's pretty cool to see the wake that he leaves behind him.
He helped me. At this point I'd say he's probably helped me more than I helped him, because he's such an inspiration. When you watch what he does and what he overcomes just in a normal day, you know, people use the term disabled, but Jonas's abilities far exceed his disabilities.
And keep my eyes above the waves. When oceans rise, my soul will rest in your embrace, for I am yours.
Hana Hana is an event that I've been going to for many years. Everyone kind of kicks off their paddling year, whatever, you know, whatever craft you're paddling.
The first mile in that race, I was very, very fast.
You know, Jimmy Terrell had already said he's going to paddle with him. Candace Appleby decided she wanted to paddle with him as well. And Kaileni was coming back from a surf trip and participated in the event, and he ended up paddling with Jonas as well. So imagine, all of a sudden, you're paddling with these legends right next to you.
I was with the best guys in the whole world, and they told me, do this and do that, and Candace, she not compete to stay there with me.
And he started just running people down. And there was a time when I looked up and I'm going, wait a minute, we're ahead of some really good paddlers here. he was going good, and then it was like all the way up till the top turn at the top when I noticed he was taking a little bit of time in between changes, and I noticed something was happening with his back. Well, he didn't say anything, of course.
I can't give up. I can't. And Jim says, "Hey man, the boat's here if you need it." No, okay, Jim, we're gonna make it.
I said to Jonas, I said, "Jonas, think of Jesus on the cross. Jesus on the cross." And he's like, yeah, okay.
And all of a sudden, you know, one person's cheering, "Jonas, Jonas," and it starts swelling and swelling, and you know, he mustered up as much as he could muster up left in his body and tried to finish, you know, looking as resilient and strong as he could.
And it was incredible feeling. I will bring this for the rest of my life, absolutely sure.
And so my dad used to call it stick-to-itiveness, and like the stick-to-itiveness that he showed, which took a lot more than just physical strength.
And I was kneeling down next to him. I said, "Jonas, like, you know, it's not about where you finish. Like, you've already won the race. Just by finishing this race, the example that it has given everybody else of your walk with God and just being that example of Christ is like you've won the race."
Just something as simple as the Hawaiian shaka. He can throw a shaka with a look and a smile that says the same thing.
I think this is the message. Yeah, be happy with everything what you have. Doesn't matter what happens. Doesn't matter if you have all the reasons to be sad, but be happy. Smile. You know, I think this is my more strongest weapon that I have is just smiling. I am so glad for being alive again. Okay, I'm breathing, so I have everything what I need. So he gave me this second chance, and I said, yeah, thank you, Jesus, for this chance.
Where my trust is without